Sugar daddy, sugar daddy, sugar daddy, sugar daddy. At least, well, it's a story out here that the one of the richest family or the senate of the richest family, which is owner of the French luxury goods Hermes, he owns about 5%, 5.7% of the company, which is publicly traded. That's basically 12 billion. He wants to give half. He wants to get at least half of his 12 billion to a person that is close to him.
His wife,
No. Guess again.
his daughter.
Actually, he doesn't have a daughter or a son, so gotta get closer, closer to home. He's gonna
Is
give it. I'm not gonna make it too long because it's just an intro, but he's gonna give it to a servant, a former gardener, and a handyman. Nicolas Puke, which is his name, 80 years old, fifth generation of Hermes, is he's giving it to, he's gonna adopt the gardener, which is in his 50s, in order to pass it on to him. And as I mean, it's we're talking about 6 billion. He had a contract with one of his foundations, and it's gonna be maybe a battle. Have you ever thought about getting a sugar mama and having her adopting you? Or maybe is that the new trick in the book for these IG models?
I don't know how my wife would think about it. What my wife would think about it.
Okay, answer the second part of that question. Is this the new trick for IG models getting adopted by the sugar daddy to inherit
I
the?
don't. I don't think it's new. Well, maybe a more creative way.
It would be a
Crea-
different angle, right? Because right now they're being, well, then they're gonna it's gonna be me too, but then they're gonna say it's, how can you adopt someone and have a explicit relationship with them?
Welcome all to another edition of the Double Thought Show. For those of
Oh my
you
god.
checking out this show, welcome. We're gonna talk today about the earth-shattering conversation between Cat Williams and Shannon Sharp on Sharp's Club Shay Shay, a great platform. We're going to break down the conversation, the responses, the feedbacks by those people who were talked about in the during that show. It was a very, 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 very controversial episode. So we're really gonna look into that. It's gonna take majority, a big part of this show. However, before we do that, we we do need to, unfortunately or fortunately, talk about a
No.
crazy story that happened in a courtroom. I'm a lawyer, as you know, in my day job. Well, day business. So I to me it was extra shocking to see someone attack a judge, and it brings me back because this isn't the first time that it happened. But the way that he cleared the bench,
Oh,
it's like he was a professional at it. So we're gonna talk about that story as well. Before we proceed, remember, guys, thanks for tuning in. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. Hit that notification bell. Like the video, comment, let us know what you think and whether you agree with or disagree with what we think about the topics we discuss. Share the video with your friends, your family, and your enemies. And of course, like the video if you haven't said that already to boost it so the algorithm can share it with more people.
yes, yes.
With that being said, let's start with the first topic of this show.
Let's do this. A leap of faith. Well, Well, maybe a leap to crash out. What is it? What do you guys think? A Nevada judge was attacked during a sentencing. It was in Las Vegas, where a lot of crazy things happen. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, or he's gonna stay in Vegas for a while now. Basically, what happened was the judge was well was about to deny the guy his bill. Judge Mary Kay Holtus from Clark County District was mid sentencing when the convicted criminal in this case um, launched towards the judge. But before I think it's not the right judge, by the way. But anyway, before we go talk about it, because we're not gonna show the video, Audrey. We're not gonna show the video in case we get age restricted and a lot of people won't see the video, the whole show. It would be a shame. But we will basically dive a bit deeper into the part that probably made the dude snap. Because, I mean, the guy is not 100% there, to be honest. If you look at the whole spectrum, who is crazy enough to jump over a bench and try to hug your favorite judge? You have to be a bit off, to be honest. Uh, would you say?
I said, yeah, I didn't say anything.
Oh, okay.
I
No,
just agree. I just
I'm
agree.
asking your
Oh,
your view as a professional who's in
mm.
this field, who's seen a couple of benches, and how how high is it probably? Is this guy a professional Troy Palamalu? Did he miss his calling? Could have been a Hall of Fame football player.
Yeah. I think, yeah, it doesn't matter how high it is. The way he jumped,
It makes a difference.
it's like he trained. Like when you train, when you're doing track and field, you have all those athletics categories. It's like he's been trained to do that. So he's either a diver who know. I mean, whatever he is, a gymnast. I don't know what, but he flew and, dare I say, gracefully
Go.
over the bench
Without touching it. It's not
without.
like no belly touch, nothing. It was Superman.
Yeah.
Well, super. Well, we're gonna talk. We talked about a guy in the X Game Plan show. Go check that out. Super Kniggle. Anyway, yeah. So let's take a look at what happened before, because I think that's a very important part of why the guy snapped. I'm not saying it's a good thing what that he did, because I mean he needs to get punished. You cannot act like this in court. You have to have some level of, how do you say that, obedience. Is that the best way to put it towards the judge?
No, not obedience, but just
Respect.
respect.
Respect. Okay. 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 It's not your parents, even though some people need parental guidance. Um, they never had it. That's why they're in court.
You
But
know, you know why it's not obedience. How can you ask a female suspect or tell a female suspect to obey a male judge?
well, I'll tell you how. It starts with a P and ends with an I. Key.
Such
Oh,
a
maybe key. Patriarchy. No, I'm just kidding. Let's continue. Let's take a look at what happened before that, because it's crazy if you think about it. The judge was basically asking him to explain why she should give him bail and fair use. This is what she said.
Before I pronounce sentence?
Let me.
Mr. Redden, is there anything you want to say on your
Can you hear it? Okay.
Yeah.
Let's continue.
own behalf before I pronounce sentence?
So basically, I would like to tell the courts and everyone here, like, based on my criminal history, like, I feel that, like, I shouldn't be, like, sent to prison for a second time.
Have you looked at your criminal history?
Huh?
Have you looked at your criminal history?
The roasting starts right about here. She thinks she's Cat Williams. I'm gonna talk about Cat Williams later on, so stick around. She asked him, "Why should I grant you bail?" By the way, this guy is called Deobra the Lone. I thought I was right. It was the right name. I just read it incorrect in the intro. But what a name, by the way, for a guy. That's a way to get you crazy. But basically, she asked him, "Explain yourself." And he's trying to explain himself based on my past. Judge, I'm sorry.
For everything that I've done.
But she doesn't even give him five words in. She's already roasting him. If you see your criminal past, let's see what she says after that, because it's getting even more crazy. Oh. Let me go back. Amen. Let me go back. So she decides to basically ask him, "Is this the way you want to continue?" Let's take a look real quick.
Mr. Redden, is there anything you want to
Fair
say on your own
use.
behalf before I pronounce sentence?
So basically, I would like to tell the courts and everyone here, like, based on my criminal history, like, I feel that, like, I shouldn't be, like, sent to prison for a second time.
Have you looked at your criminal history? Have you looked at your criminal history?
I actually just, I looked at it.
I mean, you lived it, I
I
suppose.
just looked at it, yeah.
Yeah.
Yo.
Bruh, the
Yo.
roasting, the
Yo.
roasting. Are you lifted? I suppose. So nonchalant. So nonchalant. Like, hey, oh yeah, by the way, I know. You lifted. Sorry, my bad.
Yo.
My bad. That's already she's roasting him. You're about to sentence the guy and she's roasting him. Why do you give him the floor? Not
It's
saying what he did. Again, not saying what is. Some people they snap easily. RJ.
yeah, I'm gonna give the final thoughts at the end, but you need to, as a judge, you need to remember that everyone you're dealing with is a person. Everyone's a person in there. So the judge's a person, the bailiff's a person, the bailer is a person, the public, the defendant, the lawyers, they can be there with, they have various titles, various roles, but at the end of the day, they're all people. And no matter, it can be, because we don't know what happened throughout the whole trial. It can be that this isn't the first time she's hearing this story, these excuses. So it can be that the judge at this point, at this moment, was like, "I'm fed up. I'm going to roast you." Little did she know that he was also fed up.
This is crazy. Let's continue. Fair use.
3 felonies, a gross, 9 misdemeanors, multiple DVs. Got a lot going on, sir.
Yeah, I just figure, like,
Battery on a protected person, robberies.
Stop.
When RJ yells stop, he's got a great point about. He's going to drop some gems here. Listen up.
Why? So the judge is reading the criminal record because he said, if you look at my criminal record.
Mm.
If you're going to, this is law 101. If you're, or this litigation 101. If you're going to have an argument in court, you have to base it on a solid evidence. You can't say, look at my criminal record.
So basically, you're saying he also invited the roast.
Of course, if you look at my criminal record and just when you start playing, just start a little bit, just move it back a bit. So you hear the list, because the way he said it, you would think that it's one. Maybe maybe petty theft or jaywalking or something. But okay, I don't know if you can get a criminal record for jaywalking, but you can't. But anyway, you get what I'm saying. Let's
Yeah.
listen to the let's continue listening.
Person, robberies,
Move it back a bit. Yeah.
robberies,
Yeah, I just figure like,
battery on a
So-
protected person, robberies,
I'm sorry.
attempt home invasion.
Whoa.
Go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I was just.
Yo. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Sorry. I'm just listing all the crazy stuff you've done in your life, and you're trying to get Bill now.
Yeah.
Why give him the floor if you already made up your mind? I mean, okay, that's the process, but you can basically tell him, yeah, dude, come on, man.
Yeah. So it's
Maybe should she have waited until he's ended to give her opinion, because she's interrupting him the whole time,
yeah.
being sassy.
Yeah. She should have, but I'm guessing she was fed up.
Probably. I would get. I mean, come
But
on.
at the same time, to be honest, I didn't think she was I didn't think she was going that hard in, but okay.
I mean, you
I've
get.
seen I've seen worse, is what I'm saying.
I've also seen worse, but at the same time, you're dealing with, and I'll show you why you can tell he's not all the way there. Let's continue.
I just figure
Fair
like,
use.
I'm in a better place in my mind, in my mental health.
Yo.
Do you see his lawyer? Where he's standing. A second ago, the lawyer was much closer to him. The lawyer knows his client.
Client.
He's continuing talking.
Trying to, at least.
Well, he's trying to. Let's see if she gives him the chance.
I have a support system. I just got hired as a teamster for, the union, making $3 an hour. And like the reason behind every single domestic violence, I've been dealing with mental health, and I didn't know that I was dealing with mental health. And they put me.
He's talking about mental health. He didn't know he was dealing with mental health.
Yeah. Every domestic violence situation that I was involved in, I was dealing with mental health. You know what the problem with that is, KaiR?
Tell me. I don't know.
The court system doesn't. I mean, it takes into account, technically speaking, the reason
Mm-hmm.
to
But it's
see,
not
let's
there.
say, what your to see what your motive was
Mm-hmm.
to do all the things, but it's not like it's going to.
Make a
It might
difference.
use it to it can or can't. But a majority of the times the difference is 6 years instead of 7.
Okay, so guys, not saying this is a tip, but playing mental health, playing not totally there isn't the way to solve your courtroom problems. You're going to jail.
Yeah.
You're going to jail. That's what the judge probably thought as well. And the law, his lawyer, seems to be moving more and more away from the guy.
Mental health court,
Look,
and I still
look.
didn't know that I had a mental health problem until it was August 2022 when I realized I have a problem with this, and like having a dictionary and like understanding myself, getting to know myself a little better, and
He's the,
applying it to my personality. And
the lawyer is looking at the criminal record. What does my client have actually?
What is my client having? Fair use. We'll continue. We'll continue.
at that moment, in those instances,
Look
and
here.
just like trying to learn from my mistakes, you know? And I feel like I shouldn't be sent to prison, but if it's appropriate for you, then you have to do what you have to do. But I figure that, you know, if I'm in a better place in my
Oh man. Again. Hey, let's continue. So basically what happens is that he's trying to explain why he shouldn't get sentenced, why he should get the bail. And then his lawyer is continuously moving further and further away.
I'm not, you know, I'm not out there committing crimes now, you know, and I feel like I should be given a shot.
I appreciate that, but I think it's time that he gets a taste of something else because I just can't with that history. In accordance with the laws of the state of Nevada, this court
The timing is impeccable. This is where I'll move it a little bit. Let's see. The guy moved already from the screen, so you can hear in the background he's making a move. The judge looks down towards her paper, and then sees the crash out. She's sitting there, first row with a crash out.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna show the crash out, even though I want to, but you can look up in YouTube. Go find it at another place. But
It was
oh, I think he was, first of all, the guy wasn't totally there. He's already saying he has mental health problems. So is it wise to poke a bear that has just heebie-jeebies? I wouldn't do it.
I think that one moment. I
You want
think
to-
I think that he is. No, I had to switch some things, but I think that this is not the first time. You know what the thing is, KaiR? You think you've seen it all. That judge seems like a seasoned judge.
Yeah.
She's probably been a judge for many years. Perhaps she's been a lawyer before that as well, or had a legal job. So you experience a lot of things, and there comes a point in time where you think that you've experienced everything. Never in a million years did you think that someone would do that. Did you even imagine that someone would do that?
I wouldn't. No, but me looking outside in, I've never seen that before. I've seen a woman try to grab.
Yeah.
11 years ago, 12 years ago, try to grab the judge, but
the fact that he was able to get to the judge is, to me, well, it's a blitz, right? It's a blitz. So
Troy Polamalu.
because she was in the pocket.
Well, the O-line didn't. The bench, which was supposed to be the O-line, that wasn't high enough. Maybe they would have put a cage around her from now on.
But
right.
When he was talking, as you could see, he was doing this. Yeah, you know, the thing is, but in his mind, he must have been thinking, if this nice lady says no, I'm gonna attack. The lawyer moved. Did the lawyer know that he was gonna do it?
The lawyer knew that the guy was not stable. That's what he knew.
Was the
And
lawyer?
Wow.
The lawyer was creating space so he could run, jump, and get a sack. And it seemed that he also got some punches in or
He got some punches.
kicks.
At least some. He got something in, man. He got
Yeah.
something in. I watched the video in full. There was this. I don't know if it was there was a guy at the left corner. I don't know what he is actually. Maybe he's the one who's typing everything. Not sure, but he was
The
also.
left. Did you say the left corner? Is that the blind side?
Oh man, you're having too much fun with this one. You're having too much fun with this one. He was trying to put some punches in, but it seems like didn't have the torque. But
No.
hey, man, let's wrap this up. What is your final sentence?
Yeah.
on it?
So we're laughing, of course, but it's not a
It's a
it's a
we're not
serious
laughing
matter
about,
because
we're not laughing about what happened.
no.
We're laughing about the whole
Yeah, the
situation.
situation, yeah. But the breakdown. But I think that a judge, whether you agree or disagree with his or her point of view, forms part of a larger whole, which is the legal system of a country. And it represents, or at least should represent, the branch of the of a country that makes sure that, and I say it with quotation marks, justice is served. And the reason why I put justice in quotation marks is because what's justice to me might not be justice to you. Maybe you think 2 years is enough. I think 4 years is too little, for example. But to attack a judge is the same as attacking a politician, is the same as attacking a police officer, is
Mhm.
the same as attacking the same or worse.
Yeah.
Now, that small incident, that if you this is a reason why you should always try to control your emotions. This man said that he has mental problems or mental health issues. Okay, possible. But whether you have it or not doesn't change the fact that you hit a judge. And the consequences for that will be more severe than hitting a random person in the streets, for example.
Even separating someone from their property. I
Yeah,
want to use the word, but
yeah, yeah.
hey, man, a leap of faith or a leap to crash out. Which one is it? Let us know in the comments. And yeah, we're gonna go to public enemy number one, Cat Williams. Cat Williams. He's the talk of the town. The guy went in. I'm gonna list the names. I'm gonna list the names. By the way, if you want to check out the video, go to Shannon Shop's Club Shay Shay channel. Very great conversation. I don't want to say interview because he let him talk. He let him talk. And he talked. He talked a lot. He talked about Faison Love. RIP Faison's career after this one. Well, there was no career, but okay. Um, Jonathan Majors. Joe Rogan had a couple of words for Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan invited him to come to the show, by the way, to his show.
Did he?
Yeah. We're gonna talk about in the response
Okay.
part, but
Okay.
Joe Rogan wants him on the show because he said Joe Rogan didn't invite him. He's inviting only unfunny comedians. He doesn't invite the funny ones. And Joe Rogan basically said, "You know what? Come to our show. We always talk about you. Come to the show. Maybe we'll get a part two." I guess I need to subscribe to Spotify to check this one out. But yeah, he talked about Martin Lawrence. He basically guillotined Ricky Smiley. There's no Ricky Smiley after this one. Chris Tucker got some heat. Steve Harvey. I always say Harvey. Um, Steve Harvey got a gut punch. Diddy also got a sight. Let's say the
His
shots.
parties. Yes, if his famous parties.
Even people that are locked up got mentioned. Harvey W. Steen. Uh, Cedric the Entertainment. He threatened Sutton to get him a gut in the punch. Punch in the gut. Jesus Christ. I said I said gut in the punch. Ludacris. Ludacris got mentioned. Tiffany Haddish. Michael Blackson.
Stop doing accents, man.
Kanye and Kim. We're gonna talk about Kanye and Kim on the Thursday show. Go check that out. A great we have a great guest, C. Moses. We're gonna talk about Kanye and also this part real quick. She talked also about Taraji P. Henson. Talked about Nick Cannon. The young comedians coming up, which is he's very positive actually about the young comedians, which tells me he's in a good place. He's not hating the young and up and coming ones. He's just hating on the people. Well, it's not hating. He's exposing the other people. And those are the people he talked about, man.
Those are the people he talked negatively about.
Not
He
all, by
did
the way.
no well, he did praise he praised Nick Cannon,
They can, yeah.
the young comedians, as you said. He also, well, was it a praise or not? Gary Owen.
Gary Owens.
Um
It was a praise, actually. He's praising him for not either bending on forward or bending on the knees. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
And Gary Owen also responded.
Yeah. So it was a long list and he was going in.
Yeah, man.
It seems as though his main targets were Faison, Ricky Smiley, Steve Harvey, and Cedric the Entertainer. Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah.
Like
Do
because
you know what?
those were the ones who he kept on coming back to those four.
Yeah. You know what?
Why?
All of them were visited Club Shanghai.
All of them visited Club
All of
Shay.
them had a platform and they were talking crazy,
Yeah.
according to that.
Yeah. Well, according to Kat, they were lying, right? They were lying about the truth, bending the truth,
Yeah.
and other things. Well, to be honest, I found it very entertaining.
It is.
I watched it twice
Mm,
just to see if I caught everything because the first 2.5 hours is a lot, so you're bound to miss things.
it's a lot. It's a lot.
Um, the essence of what he's saying can be summed up if you could summarize what he said in a couple of sentences, it would be that he chose a way to become big independently and started independently and stayed independently, financed his own shows. Up to this day, he's financing his own tours. He's saying that he's been offered, so that's him. He's saying that he's funnier than a lot of people because he just looks at how much people laugh at his jokes in a set versus other people, and they laugh more at when he's in his sets than other people's sets. But that was one part. But the second part was a majority of the other comedians were not independent, and especially the big ones that we know. He accused them of being gatekeepers. He accused them of being, I
Liar.
mean, if you can, let's say, let me just take the big names right now. Steve Harvey, he called him a backstabber and a liar.
Mhm.
Cedric the Entertainer, he
He,
called.
he even lied about his airline, Monoga.
He lied about his hairline. He said that Steve was saying the same things he's saying to Marjorie, to his previous, his first wife.
Yeah, that's true.
Cedric,
Cedric.
he accused Cedric the Entertainer of being a joke stealer.
Mm-hmm.
He accused Ricky Smiley of being a liar, specifically lying about being offered the part of, not Smokey, um,
Money Mike.
Money Mike in Friday, and he was like, "No, I did it. I wrote the script." So Kat was saying, "I wrote the script for Mike. So why would you say that that you were offered to it?" Well, Ice Cube replied to that.
Yeah.
Uh, I don't know. Can I say it right now, or should I wait until
Oh,
later?
we'll talk about it later.
Yeah. He accused, well, Wanda Smith. We know Wanda Smith. Wanda Smith, that's the legendary roast where Wanda Smith started to asking him questions uh, that, according to Kat, was expressed. It was expressly mentioned as topics not that will not be mentioned during the show.
Yeah.
So apparently, Wanda Smith said, "Hey, Kat, we're not gonna talk about these topics." And when the show started, she started asking questions about those topics.
180.
She switched. A chameleon, so they call him. Kevin Hart.
Not a 360, by the way, for those who are not aware of the whole. It's not a 360 because if you do a 360, you're at the same point. It's a
Yeah,
180.
yeah,
Just
yeah.
explain.
Kevin Hart, he accused of being a plant and a gatekeeper.
That's
Tyler Perry, he accused of being a gatekeeper and a
yeah, but also
person that is more convinced as a. He said
not the
that.
same woman.
Let me just say this.
Oh
He
my god.
said that Tyler Perry can play the role of a women more convincingly than a man. Tyler Perry can play the role of a man to save his life. And
Also this.
Face on Love, he called the hater, saying that Face on Love said it's very easy to get the Netflix special. Cat Williams has 12. And Cat Williams said, asked Shannon when he was on, well, how many does Face On have? In any case,
How many tours?
yeah, in any case, he did praise DL Hughley.
Mm-hmm.
He
Yes.
did praise Dave Chappelle, Gary Owen for being in
Bernie.
integrity, Bernie Sanders.
What?
Oh,
Wait.
he
Bernie Sanders. Bernie Mac. What
Bernie
the,
Mac, Bernie
what
Mac.
the heck are you talking about?
They're both
What are
deceased.
you thinking about? Are you a
They're both
comic?
deceased or close to. Uh,
Oh
no,
my god! Why did you say that? You're trying to get me canceled.
no,
Oh,
no, and the young comedians, amongst other,
yeah.
Country Wayne, as who I'm a big fan of, as you know. So it was, but at the same time, KR, to just say that this was a roast would be to take away the impact. So the content that was gifted to us, I have to say, in that show, because after the show you get a better feeling, a better idea of how things really function in that sector. I mean, you hear stories, you hear rumors,
Yeah.
but he's been asked. Oh, come on. Oh, so many quotes, man. He said, my main goal was to get here.
Come on, spit it out, spit it out. Come on, man.
My main goal was to get here with a virgin
Oh yeah. Oh, a-hole. Yeah,
a-hole, with a virgin a-hole, and without sucking anything.
yeah. That's what he's referring to the industry.
Yeah, to the industry, because of course,
He's not talking about going to the sharing club and leaving.
no, 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 no. But it's the industry that it's like if
We
you
all
want
know,
something,
we all
yeah,
heard about these stories, right? To be honest, I do think, and I do agree with you on that. It's it's a very eye-opening story. There have been already people are dissecting the video and showing proof. One thing I'll say is this: I read a lot and I know a lot. From some sources, I've heard about Katt being some kind of a collector of information in the past. Um, so I knew that he knew a couple of things, a thing or two, more than a thing or two, actually. So it doesn't surprise me that he has this information. I do think some things what he said were hyperbolic. For example, not sure if he read 3,000 books every year, but doesn't take away of the other things, because right now people are trying to point out the
Small
small
discrepancies. Yeah.
yes, the small irregularities. And I think that you should listen to the interview again, because he has a lot of Shannon. Shannon was avoiding to burn his bridges. First of all, he was sitting there with a straight face the whole conversation. Second of all, there were some parts when he decided not to follow up on the on the remarks. There were some there. You have to listen. You have to listen, and he's dropping breadcrumbs. That's all I'll say. When he asked, when he was, like I said, he's a collector of information. He knows a lot, and he's always asking around. I've heard he also said it during the interview. He's paid for information, and I think it's interesting that I knew that before, and he's confirming it during this interview.
Yeah.
That was one thing I thought was very interesting. But he says a lot of. I mean, he also I forgot about it. He also was asked about Tory Lanez and Megan.
Megan.
That situation. He confirmed what I thought about this whole situation.
Yeah.
He didn't say a lot, but he said enough, and then he took the drink and sipped it.
Yeah.
You guys make your conclusion out of what he said.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, and as you said, as relates to burning bridges, remember, before this episode, the biggest episode was, I believe, Steve Harvey's episode, which was at 7 million.
7? Just 7?
That was it. Yeah. Well, now it sounds like that, right? Now, yeah. Look at you,
It was more.
ungrateful,
I thought it was
ungrateful.
more.
No, it was at the.
Well,
Yeah.
you're acting like I'm a anyway. That's good.
No, it's like just 7, just 7. Yeah.
Yo, this
The
guy made 13 within, I think, how many hours? I think it was within 24 hours, right?
the first 24 hours was at, I forgot. At one point, it's like within 24 or I say 48 hours. In 2 days, it was 17 million or something.
Yeah. It's
So
crazy.
it's and what does he prove by doing this? I mean, this only feeds into him being better than than the rest. By the way, did you see how many? Because it's a 2.5 hour, over a 2.5 hour show episode. Did you see how many clips they
They
cut
dropped
out of that show? Of course. And
not
look at the
more.
numbers of the clips. 450K. I mean, this man is
He gave him
he,
a very great conversation,
a
dude.
boost. Yeah. Now it's at, yeah. So it dropped Thursday, I think. Was it on Thursday?
Yeah, I
On
think it was
Saturday, it was still 22 million.
Jesus. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Those are crazy numbers. That is like the numbers Takashi did when he was about to get to jail. Um, but yeah, overall, I think it's a very basically one thing I'll say, and we'll talk about it as well on the Thursday show with Corey. There is an aspect of being able to bounce back after after being controversial, which Cat has, because this is not the first time he's went in on the industry, and also with Kanye. It seems like they have this overlapping um, ability to say controversial things and still bounce back after the backlash.
Yeah.
Go check out that show as well. It's gonna be very interesting for you guys to check. But let's continue with this one. The responses and clapbacks, man. Responses were quite crazy. Let's start with should we start with Michael Blackson or should we start with Cube?
Let's start with Cube.
I like Cube's, I'll be honest, I like Cube's response to this. Very mature, very business-like, first of all. Um, it sounds like, I mean, um, Ice Cube is not, I mean, he has other things to worry about. He just sued NBA for interference. So he's further down the road when it comes to business. He's a businessman. And he makes it clear during this response that it's business. Work together with people and very grateful for working with them. And he explains in details what really happened during that Friday recording or recording. Fair use. Let's take a look what he has to say.
What's cracking? It's your homie Ice Cube.
Can you hear it?
Yeah.
Okay, fair use.
Just wanted to address a few things. You know, everybody been checking out the internet. My man Katt Williams. You know, first of all, I just want to say, you know, we shot that movie over 20 years ago. So, you know, people have different perspectives, and it's been a long time. I also want to say, you know, every comedian that I've worked with, every comedian that I've put in a movie, I only put them in the movie because I thought they was funny. I thought they was perfect for the part. I tried to put them in a position to win. That's what it's all about, you know. I don't, you know, I look at from, you know, Chris Tucker and Bernie Mac and Mike Epps, Katt Williams, you know, Ricky Smiley, Michael Blackson, Cedric, Kevin Hart. You know, all these guys I know are funny as hell. You know, I didn't discover them. You know, they were doing their stand up or doing their thing, and I knew that they were great and that they could act, and that you know, if I have an opportunity, I was going to give them an opportunity. You know, to me, that's what it's all about. You know, as far as, you know, specific things, you know, Katt was 100 on a few things. Most of what he was saying, a couple of things, you know, I just want to clarify. When we bring in a new, you know, comedian, we do have them try out for different roles.
Of course, we need to break it up a little bit. So far, what do you think what he had to say?
As you said, he's managing the minefield. He's trying not to step on mines. It looks like, I mean, if they told me that there's someone, if so, it gets revealed that at the moment of recording there was someone holding a blicky behind the camera, I wouldn't be surprised. It sounds like it's almost like hostage. But as the savvy business person that he is, um, as you said, he knows what he has. He has things to lose. It's also a great moment for him to just start to address the issue. Good for marketing as well. So I guess that it's
It's a good start.
He's saying it's like the mob, right? The mob is known to when they talk. Let's say you can't say to a mate man you're lying, because even if
Mhm.
you know that he's lying, so when he tells you, "Are you telling me I'm lying?" You have to say, "No, I'm not telling you. I'm not calling you a liar. I'm not calling you a liar. I'm just saying that oh," and then you tell your story. You don't
I know
say,
who you're referring to. I know the story.
you're gonna tell your story. No, I'm not saying you're a liar. I'm just saying when I went there, he wasn't there. But I told you he was there. Are you saying? And that's basically what he's doing. So he's telling the story. By the story, from the story, you know what he's saying and what he's not saying. But yeah,
Uh, Shout out to Michael Francis. I know this story.
yeah,
He
it's
told
Michael
this.
Francis. Yeah.
Let's continue with Ice Cube, another NWA.
So Ricky did give Money Mike a shot. But when we saw him and, we kind of saw how he moved and how he was, auditioning, we decided that he would be a better, Santa Claus, which was to me.
Christmas. Do you remember Christmas?
Christmas crackhead.
No, man. Do you remember Michael Jackson used to call
Oh
Christmas
yeah.
Christmas? Do
Oh,
you have any man that call you nicknames like that?
so basically, he's confirming what I think Ricky was playing with the words in a sense, because having the role and doing the audition is totally different. He did what Cube seems to explain. He doesn't say that Ricky is lying. He's only saying, from what I can hear, Ricky did audition for the role, and we didn't think it was the
Right
best
for him.
situation. It wasn't right for him. Like he said, he puts the people, he's like Belichick. He puts you in the best position possible to make the play.
So what does it say? What does it say if the team doesn't win?
It says that the GM was drafting trash. And we know who the
Okay.
GM is of Pats. It's not Bill already. People are
All right.
talking
All right.
crazy about Bill, but let's
It's not. It's
continue with
not
that.
Ice Cube either.
It's not Ice Cube. Ice Cube was drafting the
3-on-3. Yeah, the 3-on-3 leagues, right?
Be the
let's
perfect
continue.
casting. When we saw Mike, damn, I call him Money Mike. When we saw Katt,
Even in the response, he calls him Money Mike. He doesn't even call him Cat initially. So he's already they saw that he was the guy. How the heck did Ricky thought he had the role? I know why how, but if I say it, we're gonna get sued. So I'm not gonna say anything.
Thank you.
Anyway, let's continue.
when
Fair
I
use.
saw him, I just knew that he was perfect for Money Mike. And Katt, said he wrote his role, which the role was written, but he enhanced it. This is why Katt was so dope in the movie. Money Mike had a small role, about as big as the Santa Claus role, but when we start filming, he was giving us such magic that we kept expanding his role, giving him more to do because he was on point. When we shoot these movies, for one, the scripts are fire, or they wouldn't even do it. The scripts are a laugh out funny. But we shoot the script, but once we get what we need from the script, we let the comedians ad-lib, riff, play with the words, do their thing. We give them a take where they can, or 2, 3 takes where they can go off and do what they feel. Sometimes it makes the movie, sometimes it don't. When somebody gives you jewels, you want to try to make sure that makes the movie.
Again, Like RJ said, navigating the minefield. He's explaining that it's true what he said. He's enhanced the role. He didn't write it totally, but he basically added his sauce to it. The Cat Williams sauce. That what made the role of Money Mike so important, so big in the movie. It seems like the way he's describing it, he had a smaller role in the initial script, but because such a great additional writing by Katt, his creative aspect, how we saw the role, they had to expand the role a bit more in the movie.
Yeah. And that's because they saw that the movie's quality would be higher with him having a bigger role.
Yeah.
And that's something he earned. Because as Cube said, initially the role was as small as Ricky Smiley's role, Santa Claus role. But yeah, if you come and you have presence and you can you make a significant uh, impression, and people will say, no, we weren't thinking of going into this direction, but we're going to now because we have the talent.
It teaches you one thing, and here at the Double Touch Show, we're always about teaching, learning lessons from others. Always bring your A game when you need it. You need to bring your A game because what Cat basically did in this role is because he did the best thing he could. He didn't try to make it easy for himself. I got the role. Let's do it as easy as possible. He brought his A game, adjusted the script to what he thought was the best for the role, and then they had to expand his role in the movie, which also made his character an iconic part of what Katt did later on in his career. I mean, come on, man. Money Mike, the opening scene of Money Mike, that who can forget it? The man basically brought a charismatic guy. He portrayed a funny looking yet charismatic pimp in a sense. And the
Yeah.
question is, well, I'm not gonna say what Ricky Smiley would have done, but obviously what Ice Cube is saying is he wasn't the right guy for the right role. He didn't have the sauce.
Yeah.
It's a shame I cannot move back and forth because I would have wanted to skip to the back where he talks about the graping aspect. Did you listen to that part as well?
I did. And he said that in the just so to clarify, it wasn't the intention to show it, but just to mention that it was a part of a script, maybe a backstory or something.
It was, yes. I think that's a good thing you mentioned that because he said he would have never shown it on screen.
Yeah.
He didn't deny that it was part of the script.
Yeah.
Again, it seems like Katt is talking the truth again.
Yeah.
Katt
Yeah.
said he asked them to remove it out of the script, that it's not part of the script. It's not funny. And he's right. When is the suggestion, even on the screen or off screen, suggesting that something happened it's not funny, whether it's female or male? So it seems like
It's
it's confirming Katt's story on this part, at least.
yeah. Yeah. I think that it's very he is confirming it. Yes. But one thing that people tend to do when you have an argument, I mean, I'm a lawyer and court, it's the same thing.
They tend to jump over
You
the bench, or
you pick the weakest arguments, the weakest point, and try to attack that point.
Mm.
So the comments, the reaction to Cat Williams' rant They were looking for like the small discrepancies. Maybe it was a Sunday instead of a Monday. Maybe it wasn't 3,000. It was 2,999. And those small things, they'll be based on those small things. They'll be like, no, it's not true. He's a liar, or they try to
Yeah.
discredit it. Uh, of course, this is his opinion. I think that he has a lot of information to support his points of view. That doesn't mean, of course, that the conclusion is always correct, because you can have
True.
all the information but reach a different conclusion, or a conclusion that's not correct. But to say that this man blatantly lied,
Uh,
I doubt it.
it's gonna be a stretch to prove he lied,
Yeah,
because
he,
the
he
thing
was
is this,
he,
right? No, no, continue.
yeah, he was maybe exaggerating, maybe hyperbole, maybe, those type of things. But to say that he lied, the only things where, of course, when he starts talking about what he thinks, he thinks that someone is a backstabber, he thinks that someone is a liar, he thinks that someone is a plant, he thinks that someone is a gatekeeper. That's his opinion, so that's a conclusion he reached. But I do think that he knows a whole lot.
I think he's because of course throughout the years, if you look at the whole spectrum, right, there's a lot of content being created, and people forget stuff. Like for example, you pointed out that Faison talking crazy about him, but Faison doesn't have anything to show for. Kevin Hart, he called him an industry plant. He said, and he explained why he thinks he's an industry plant. Basically, it's about the fact that Kevin had a TV without even having proven himself as a comedian. I think that's what is referred to, that no one, he's looking back, right? I th- Maybe it's me, but I think the way he talked about Kevin not selling out, or Kevin not having yeah, he said it,
Kevin not selling out.
selling out as in shows,
Okay,
Start-
selling out shows. Okay.
selling comedian shows. Sorry,
So say he said the I think he said
uh, my bad. Kevin not selling out or getting any standing ovations. I think he means he didn't sell out shows before in the past, and he got a show, which was, I can't remember. It's the show with. By the way, Faison was his playing his dad on that show, which is kind of crazy if you think about it. It's a 6 episode show, um, and well, it got canceled after six.
I concluded that, yes.
But he got the show, and he didn't have anything to prove for this. I think that's what he meant with industry plant. Calling him an industry plant is a stretch. Maybe he is, maybe he's not. I think what you said was correct. Conclusions. Maybe the information he has is right. His conclusion might be skewed towards a certain way of looking at it. I mean, the guy was going in on left and right. He also pointed out that Kevin chose got a couple of roles where he suggested to take out the LGBTQ aspect of that role, and Kevin took it without asking. So it puts one thing, I'll say this much, and whether it's envy or not, he definitely shone light on a different aspect of the well-known comedians.
Yeah. At least we know, at least. So if you can take anything away. So if you're to take anything away from the show, from this conversation, or I mean that conversation, it would be that it's not as glitter and glamour as it's made out to be.
Yeah.
And it's always, I do think, care that we're in a time right now where people have the courage to just come out and expose these things. We talked about all the people who'd exposed um we talked about how we talked about Tasha K last week.
Yeah.
The latest interview, which was ironically enough with a former assistant of Kevin Hart, disclosing
Oh yeah.
some things,
NDA. Breaking the NDA.
breaking the NDA. You have a lot of people just coming out and saying, "Hey, this happened to me in the 80s. This happened to me in the 90s. Diddy did this to me."
Did he do it? Did you hear about the Uncle Miller rap?
No, I didn't.
Did he do it? Did he dirty?
Oh yeah, yeah, I did. I did. Yeah, yeah.
Oh man. He roasted that dude.
So I do think that we're in a time right now where the truth, the truth of a lot of things are slowly but surely getting exposed. And to what extent that will make a difference, I think that will definitely make a difference on how we view things. I remember when, of course, you have Steve Harvey and Marjorie, and they were always saying, "Hey, you were." They were always appearing to be like the perfect couple, perfect couple. But of course, I know that perfect couples don't exist. When
Just like
I not I never would have thought that Marjorie would have would that Marjorie would have had two ex husbands or boyfriend partners who were both drug dealers. One of them even saying that when he was in jail or when the other one was in jail, Marjorie took over the designated hitter. And
him.
so, but am I surprised? I am surprised, and I'm surprised of that specific news, but I'm not surprised that they're not perfect.
Yeah.
And hopefully, if we can take anything from it, it would be that not everything that shines is gold, and just focus on you and your relationships with your loved ones. Because if you look at other people and try to copy other people or try to put those people as your frame of reference, you're basically hallucinating because what you think they are is not real.
It's just an illusion. And I think another thing, a second thing as well, is what is done in the dark with will come to light at a certain point. That seems to be the reoccurring theme the last few years. Be honest. I mean, since the Me Too, people were doing crazy stuff. Harvey got locked up. We got the other Steen getting people that are on the list being revealed. It seems like a lot of things that are done in the dark will come to light. And I think it's good to transition out to the last aspect of this show, which is this cat conversation monumental or just an instant classic? And what do I mean by monumental? Monumental is something that shifts, that's for lack of a better word, the culture, the way things are going. For example, I'm pretty sure this will change at least how people show up to Club Shay Shay. But will it also move interviews from now on? Will people try to talk more truth, or will they be more careful about what they say on these shows? Because I think the only reason he went to Club Shay Shay is because of Faison, Ricky Smiley, Steve Harvey,
Cedric.
and Cedric talking crazy on the show. Is
Yeah.
this going to be the way people move forward?
Yeah.
If you're talking crazy on the show, I'm gonna show up and expose you, RJ.
Uh, I don't. He's been asked to get on the show since last year, 2022.
Yeah.
So for a year, he didn't come to the platform. He couldn't. Maybe he is also busy. Also has his own things to do.
Or maybe he was watching and waiting for the
Yeah.
right timing.
But he has a Netflix special coming out as well soon.
When?
This year, I don't know what time. I don't know
Okay,
when.
okay.
He hasn't. He talked about it. So
Did he talk about it?
yeah, he did.
Maybe I need to watch it for a third time.
Yeah, he did talk about a new Netflix special that's coming out.
Okay, okay.
So he is. This will definitely have impact. But he talked about his deals with Netflix being 8 digits, so 10 million and up or up.
Yep.
So if this is not, I mean, this is how you get these specials. You have the fame. You're already touring. You have your core. You have your core fans already. But then you go to a platform like Club Shay Shay, or you go talk to Wanda Smith, and you roast and
Mm.
you say things that will make people think, "Oh, who is this guy?" Or, "Oh, I can't forget. I can't believe I forgot about him." And then they'll go watch him back, and then they'll go watch the Netflix special. As he has a new one coming.
I'll
That's how easy it is to get a Netflix special, according
I
to.
I'll be honest. I'll be honest with you about this. I haven't watched his previous one. You watched it. You told me it was good. I didn't have the time to watch it. But his latest interview made, well, increased, piqued my interest to look back at the one he dropped last year. So
Mhm.
I will watch that one.
Yeah,
Because I'll be honest, I've always been a fan of comedians. And I'm gonna talk about it also um the next upcoming weeks. From next week on, we will have more evergreen shows where we'll be discussing um, Dave Chappelle's latest special. We'll talk about Marvel, etc. So we have a couple of evergreen topics, and we will dive a bit more deeper into those. Um, the aspect of being a comedian. But I'll say this: Katt has always been one of my favorite comedians because his delivery, his timing was always impeccable
yeah,
when it comes to this stuff. So I will go check it out. Didn't have the time, but hey, Katt, I have to say, good job, good job. I think
yeah.
it's a monumental interview or conversation, how you want to put it. We're gonna share
I
a couple of things.
I think it's monumental for Club Shay Shay and Shannon Sharp. I think it's an instant classic as well for us, the viewers. So for us, we can always look back, and if we're bored and we need 2.5 hours of entertainment, it wouldn't be such a bad idea to choose to rewatch this episode of Club Shay Shay. Um, I think it's monumental for Shannon Sharp and his brand for sure. And as Kat says, you create a safe space. You've created a safe space so we can come and talk. So, in that sense, I think that Shannon, that Club Shay Shay is going to be the new. I mean, it seems to be that already, right? If you want to go to a talk show, not so a talk show that's not televised, which podcast would you go to?
If you're a athlete, I would say you should always go to Pat McAfee show.
Or
And
Pivot?
if the pivot, yes, those two. Where you have, if you want to reach more people, you have Pat McAfee show. The pivot is more, let's call it niche, not niche, but you know what I mean. And I think for the entertainment aspect, I think it feels like Shannon really has a grip on that niche right now. He's gonna
Yeah.
have a after this is gonna be the platform for that.
Yeah.
For you to go there, do your talk, and at least don't try to lie because people might invite themselves to the show and come roast the hell out of you.
Yeah. Especially if you're a comedian. You didn't say anything about Kirk Franklin except for you made a joke.
Yeah.
You didn't say anything about Trevor Ariza. He didn't say anything about Timbaland. He didn't say anything. He only went for the comics.
The like I said, the people he thought that were talking untruthful stuff.
Yeah.
Comedians that
But
weren't truthful.
the
According
comedians,
to
yeah.
him.
Yeah.
Because don't forget, he's a comedian, so he knows the inner circle. He's there. He
Yeah.
knows what happened. By the
Yeah.
way, he confirmed a couple of stories I've heard also before.
Yeah.
Not
But to
from me,
me,
from him. Not his stories that he told. Other people told the same stories.
yeah.
For me, it's like I said, I know a couple of things, I've heard a couple of things, but a lot of times I read stuff, I hear stuff, and I don't move or have any opinion on it. I'm like that, I don't
Yeah.
care until I have to care. And
Yeah.
this kind of was like, okay, that story was also true. That was
Hmm.
also what happened.
Yeah.
Okay. Not only the Megan part, but also a couple of things of Steve Harvey.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
hey, I'm curious whether there will be people coming back to the platform and
Yeah.
trying to set
Yeah.
straight.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking. If I were Cedric or if I were Steve Harvey, would I come back? I would. But you can expect the questions, the Cat Williams
Yeah.
questions as well. I think if, especially if you have solidified yourself or proven yourself to being a top tier platform where top tier people go, it would make sense for you to go to promote your things and go and talk, etc. So I do think that, of course, it's a you'll get them back. I think just as he let Kat speak, he will let Kevin Hart speak. He will let Steve Harvey speak. All these people. I have to say that as it relates to the, if you ask me, Cat Williams has also been one of my favorite comedians. If you would ask me today, who are my, well, I say that my favorite comedians, I would have Chappelle
Mm-hmm.
still, and this is not necessarily in chronological order, although Chappelle is a great. I think Cat Williams is a great, and DL Hughley is a great.
Mm.
Those are to me the top. Should I? Can I say top three? I'm probably missing some people,
Bill
but
Burr.
Bill Burr. So I would put Bill Burr in the next tier, like
Mm.
close. Like I would put Bill Burr with what's Andrew Schultz. I would put
Mm.
and Andrew Schultz. Andrew Schultz's sense of humor is
He's a
amazing as well.
he's
So
a
I would put those there as well. But that's probably a preference thing also.
yeah.
I follow DL Hughley more than I do Schultz. I don't watch their shows, but yeah,
I have a question.
shoot.
Where would you put Phase on that list?
Where would I put who?
Phase on. Phase on love.
Who?
Phase on love. Why you have to do? Why you have to do him like that?
To me, it's not. So I don't. I don't.
Oh my
Oh,
god, why you have to
you,
do him like that? Yo,
you
that
know
was
you.
nasty, dude. What's that? Hey, you need to cut this as a short. Who? Oh my god. Oh man.
I would put. I would put. I would put earthquake in the
Earthquake
second
is
tier
very
as
good.
well.
I'll be honest.
I
I'll
would
be
put in the
honest.
second tier. Yeah.
I haven't watched a lot of earthquake stuff, but like we're gonna talk about this later on upcoming weeks. Where basically I've seen earthquake live as well. So
You have.
yeah, I
Oh
have.
yeah, you told me. Yeah, you told me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
yeah,
was opening for Dave Chappelle. I
yeah.
haven't watched a lot of Earthquake, but I liked a lot. Well, he went in on Earthquake as well, right? Told said Earthquake can read, but I think that's maybe Earthquake can, dyslexia. People can interpret dyslexia as different ways, right? Maybe he has dyslexia, which I'm not gonna shame someone for not being able to read, but maybe he's
Yeah.
not proficient in reading. But yeah, yeah, Earthquake is surprising. I haven't watched a lot of stuff of Earthquake, but he's good. He's good. But I mean, Cedric the Entertainment, there were people were putting out. Ken, this is it's so much layers. I mean, you can do a 6 hour show breaking down everything he said, and you can find the receipts for those. He said Cedric stole a joke from him, or at least a premise. And there were people that cut out that part of his show where he's doing the impression where he's driving the car and people and the bass is booming. And Cedric, to be honest, not. I mean, the premise is the same. Cedric has the same, but then it's a spaceship.
Definitely.
Hey man, one thing for sure, like you said, it's gonna be this is an interview that we can look back to and still enjoy a year from now, 2 years from now. Well, some of the people, maybe we don't. I don't want to go back to the responses, but Faison Love's response to this was quite cringy. Faison said he has what does he has? 19 shows, 19 stand-ups. Where's the consistency? What dude? What the heck are you talking about? He has 19. He has 19 specials.
Yeah.
That's the consistency.
Yeah.
That is the consistency. Anyway, hey, we'll take a look. Maybe we'll look back at this moment in time where it shifted everything, where liars go back into hiding. That's what he's trying to do, right? He said it also in the show. He's trying to put the people that shouldn't be talking back in the genie box. Amen.
Yes. Yes. Hey. Anything else?
No, I think I said enough. I think Kat spoke enough during the show. And if
Yeah.
you want to learn a thing or two about the Hollywood groups, go check
Definitely.
that out.
Definitely. Yes. And I just want to close with this because he also mentioned Brandon T. Jackson in the series in the interview, and he also said uh, something about the dress, like he wear it.
Mm.
And there's an interview out there. I don't have it with me, but they interviewed Brandon T. Jackson, and they were saying how they told him to get in a dress, and how Cat Williams always told him not to get in a dress, and he
Yeah.
got in a dress, and nothing went well ever
Yeah.
since.
Yeah.
So it was like a curse. There's the whole dress thing. That's a very weird thing. They want to put black people in dresses, and that's like one of the ways you open the
The cheeks.
so with that being said, guys, thanks for
No, I'm not. I didn't want to put
tuning
words.
in.
Close it out. Close it out. That's why you
Thanks
open
for
the
tuning
door.
in. Thanks for tuning in. It's been a pleasure to serve you once more. Remember to subscribe if you haven't done so already. Rate the show by pressing the like button. Share the video with your friends, your family, and enemies. And of course, comment. Let us know what you think about the topics we discussed today. It's been a pleasure, and we'll see each other in the next one. Until next time. Peace.
Peace. What a interview, man.
Yeah,
Amazing.
man.
Jeez.